Just answering questions with WAPTech, more of an off-the-cuff video. Derangement syndrome. Some of you may have heard this. There are versions of it for George Bush derangement syndrome, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. And I'm going to be using a very broad definition, but there's a specific one that gets used, and we'll touch on that. Let's bring up the video that this was placed under originally. Jackie Walorski and Anne Heche didn't die 2 days apart. Both of them were not involved in Girl in Room 13. None of the Facebook assertions were ever true at all. The politician named was not especially fixated on or authored any legislation concerning the subject matter that gets brought up that's controversial. The story originated only on far right-wing QAnon conspiracy theory postings. It was a failed attempt at distracting and deflecting people in general, and somewhat successful for the specific audience aimed at, deflecting them from looking up Donald Trump keeping boxes of top secret documents illegally. What he did was illegal. A president is allowed to declassify something. They're not allowed to steal something and not tell anybody and then use this excuse afterwards. Trump is an extremely narcissistic nitwit, and at that point became a danger to U.S. security. He didn't steal anything to reveal, to out the evil or the deep state. And none of this has to do with the two individuals. But it was a story that could be coked up and posted, and people kept bugging everybody about it. It was what you talked about instead of reading what mainstream media was pushing, which was technically a fact. Donald Trump had been caught doing something that if you found out anybody else did it, you'd freak out about. Coincidentally, people then complained that Obama did the same thing by sending information to some secret vault. Yeah, the National Archives. Yes, that literally is what the story about. Yes, if you are of a particular, I'm going to call it psychological bent. I don't say Republican or conservative anymore. If you're a particular variety of person with a mindset where you won't look up that Barack Obama sent shit to the location you're told about, and it's the National Archives, I can't fucking talk to you. He didn't take shit home. Trump did. That's it. Trump is actually guilty. It doesn't matter if you like it. It doesn't matter if I like it. I really don't like that he did this. I don't like that this happened. And he has never offered any excuse like, oh, it was a mistake or anything like that. He said he had a right to do it. He's out and proud about doing something that's overtly against federal law. And yes, it is. So that story making Trump look bad. And then, therefore, the Republican Party or, the movement or whatever you want to call it, somebody decided to create a story because two people died many days apart. Now, that video got people pissed off. I am a nobody. I didn't even know why anybody posted this. Then the person said, I'm suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. So let's look up what presidential derangement syndrome is, or what I'm going to change the narrative on for this. Acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal people in reaction to, not about, a reaction to, policies or the existence of a person. Now, this was created originally, look up the origin story, ruling class Republicans who are dismissive or contemptuous, of him, and or the inability to distinguish between signs of psychic pathology in his behavior and real policy differences, and also blind hatred of him so intense it impairs people's judgment. That one is actually a good example of derangement syndrome. Denialism about Trump's defeat in the 2020 election is also an example of blind, intense hatred of a particular group of people, and it blinding you to what's going on and impairing your judgment. Derangement syndrome, just those two words, happened to Trump supporters. What all of us have been saying. They go completely ballistic when you explain to them it's Tuesday. Or better yet, it's Wednesday, my dudes. They don't like a certain thing. They think it implies something. And they vehemently go after people. Up to and including, yes, this happened recently, trying to get a mob to hurt a judge. Before that, trying to get a mob to hurt Nancy Pelosi. These are things that really did happen. It doesn't matter if you fucking like it. That's what happened. Now what do we do about it? Staying deranged? Most often when a person accuses you of derangement syndrome, this is their cliched, thought-terminating bullshit they fling at you because they have no retort. There's no response to my video that pointed out that these two individuals didn't die 2 days apart. That they had nothing, that only one of them had anything to do with the TV show or movie, and the other one was a politician that did not cover the subject matter that was being rumor mongered. It was never any part of it ever true. All of it was just a stack of lies thrown on Facebook or whatever. And the timing of it, I point out in the video, is that yes, it happened right after Donald Trump looked ridiculously bad, like criminally bad. Not hearing those words, not double checking them, not staying on topic, and yelling, "You're suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. I came here for information about the case." The origin story for it is somebody lied about something. Obviously, if you want to know about what happened, I'm going to find out why. The individual that did this was doing it as a way to deflect bad news about Trump. I don't care if you like that. That's what happened. Obviously, the devil, or whatever you want to call him, doing the devil's work isn't going to admit he did the devil's work. I'm not going to get a confession out of a bad guy. That doesn't really happen unless they're plea dealing, and it's another deal with the devil. People who simply can't accept the fact that Donald Trump lost an election or Hillary Clinton lost an election are suffering from derangement syndrome. The cult of personality the person creates, and there is no denying Trump did that to that's one of his effects, induce derangement in people. That's bad. I objected in the second term, so I didn't vote for him. Obama being, treated as a Christ figure by some people. I mean, I still liked him, but I objected to it. I looked for someone else to vote for. I don't like two-term presidents. That's the way it is. I think having a term and then being not able to do anything anymore is healthier, because then there's no argument when you leave. Trump would have entered this if it was a one term, knowing he can't do it again. Demanding to do it again would be a violation of our laws at that point, right? Or at least not two in a row. Okay? That's just an opinion. I don't know how that would work. But blind hatred, intense enough that it impairs people's judgment, is what we all see in the comment section. We see it when we see someone flipping out at Walmart over a price tag, or having to wear a mask, or someone bumping our bumper and not wanting to take responsibility and being willing to kill people to get out of that parking lot because they go hysterical. So if you simply can't accept that Al Gore lost the election, Hillary Clinton lost the election, or that, whatever. I mean, I can explain how Hillary Clinton lost an election or electoral college. It's there as a sort of safety valve. I don't think it's useful anymore, but that's what happened. But yeah, we all suffer from derangement syndrome on anything. Look at soccer fans and see how many of them type back that it has to be called football. Remember, American football is just poorly interpreted rugby. I don't care if that's true. I just like saying it because it pisses literally everybody off on both sides. Beautiful. But yeah, again, on the video, I went off on a tangent by pointing out the motivation of the person who created a lie. There has to be a motivation for a lot of people. That motivation, when they lie about something that always seems to involve one political party or another, is political. And in this case, yeah, it was deflecting that Donald Trump was very obviously guilty of something. No, he's not storing stuff to be safeguarding it. I'm going to do another bit here. Someone asked me, what do I think about the Twitter files? The framing of the narrative by one asshole who's running Trump right now, running Twitter, it's not Trump social yet, is an example of a person whose bias is, he could present you a blank sheet of paper, but his bias would inform your decisions. I will maybe do a video on the Twitter files. You can look at 1,000 other people going over them, because I don't like Elon Musk, but he actually did release this data, even though he is holding shit back. Yes, he is. He's holding shit back that doesn't push his narrative. And even then, people are still able to critique it. Like this. And every time something shitty like this happens, I wonder, what did Trump do recently they have to cover up? That's why I made that statement. And it was accurate then and still is. So, accusing me of derangement syndrome? Okay. But you didn't cover the subject matter. You didn't talk about it. You didn't debunk anything I said. So the person who said this, that means you agree with me. You just don't like it. If you're going to do a thought-terminating cliche, it doesn't prove that my thoughts are the ones being terminated. If you're going to pull this kind of bumper sticker logic, don't expect me to respect it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And yes, I have most of my voice back now. In fact, talking seems to be making the coughing less. We'll see what happens.